Hello and welcome back to an Academy Crypto video. I hope you guys are doing well. Today we're back with another banger PulseChain video giving us the latest and greatest of crypto news. And what a great day, what a great time to be in PulseChain. We got the core ecosystem up double digits, reminding us that we are truly a leverage of Ethereum. And what's even greater than that we're not even in prime time altcoin season mode. What's even greater than that, we're still gate kept. We're not on any centralized exchange. And the best thing about all of this is that PulseChain is going through its first bull run. So the whole concept of diminishing returns does not apply to us as compared to Ethereum, right? Where it's its third bull run. Technically, it's not going to do its 100x anymore. But with PulseChain, can it? And that's the topic of today's video. Is I'm going to give you guys my personal price predictions. I'm also going to talk about something else that not a lot of people talk about, which is, should we even rely on price predictions? And if we cannot, what's the next best thing? Which is looking at the odds of things. Okay, so I'm going to talk about that in this video. I hope you guys really enjoy this video. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm also going to mention another topic, which is kind of another driving factor to PulseChain being very, very bullish, which is the sacrifice funds. Okay, so if you guys didn't know, PulseChain, before it launched, it had a PulseChain sacrifice and a PulseX sacrifice, and effectively people were able to again sacrifice to the cause. PulseChain was sacrificing for freedom of speech, and PulseX sacrifice was freedom of movement and assembly, which that's the one I personally sacrificed in. This was around 2022 time. I'm pretty sure it's 2022 or 2021, towards the end of the bull run basically. And yeah, basically the funds from that was around 1.2 billion, if I'm correct, maybe 1.7. And then Richard Hart effectively converted that all into Ethereum, which is what we see here today, which totals up to be around 171,000 Ethereum. And you can see right now from his current DCA entry price, he is down 29%. I still remember when it was down around 50+%, and a lot of people were saying, oh, you know, the worst thing that you've done, you know, trying to blame him. But remember, guys, at the end of the day, okay, everyone is human. We're all going to make some mistakes. You know, we're not going to be robots really predicting, oh, you know, before we reach $10,000 Ethereum, oh, I think, you know, Ethereum's going to fall all the way down to X value. So let me just wait and convert it there. So you see what I'm saying? Like, if you're short-term price oriented, and actually it's really hard to be short-term price oriented because it's going to be a lot of noise. And if you think about it, when you look at the price of Ethereum, let's say I have a target price of 7,000, 10,000. Do I really care how low it goes before it reaches those points? Now, of course, the only reason I would care is if I was in leverage, right? Where time is a factor, where I'm using other people's money. And of course, I have to have a margin or else I'll get liquidated. So this is why I tell people, just keep your life simple. Do not go into leverage trading. And shorting as well is really tough, you know, unless I guess you have your stop losses. But in general, I like to just have an investor mindset, guys. Okay, rather than being a trader mindset, because and it just depends on what kind of trading style that you have. But what's crazy, by the way, I'm just going to quickly show you guys while we're at it in this graph, is that literally a few months ago, and I had this screenshot right here. Look at this. When I first drew the arch right here, you can see that it was just forming that red candle. And I told people in a video, I said, I really do expect things to go worse before it gets much better. Okay, but once it bounces off, the only thing that I did was I moved the arch to match the beginning of it, and look at it, it almost played exactly, guys. I didn't change anything else in this chart. And I do want to remind people, and a big congratulations, because we've had the toughest Q1. We've had the longest bear market. Okay, possibly the worst performing February and January and February month for Ethereum. And of course, if Ethereum is doing bad, if Ethereum, ETH-BTC, look at this. Like, imagine this is the chart that you're looking at, guys. Look, imagine if this was the chart that you're looking at, you'd say, oh yeah, it looks like it's going downhill. Looks like it's rugging. And then be like, oh, hold on, bro, this is Ethereum chart. If people think Ethereum was a scam, then what hope do we have for the altcoins? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, whether you like it or not, we actually rely on Ethereum to do well. Okay, and so it is what it is. But the beautiful thing is that Ethereum has bounced off perfectly off of the 2019 bear market levels. And then, yeah, guys, I'm telling you, the next part, which is, of course, we last April in 2025 marked the 1 year mark after the Bitcoin halving cycle, because usually people say, you know, the first from the halving is Bitcoin's year. So now imagine from the previous halving date, we put a 365-day counter, and that brings us to obviously April of 2025. And what's crazy is that almost exactly lines up where things reversed for Ethereum, where now, you know, the altcoin season, remember, which happens 1 year out of 4 years. Okay, that's kind of the cycle that we've been in. It's all correlated together. It starts in the post-Bitcoin halving year. So it's really kind of cool how it's aligning all together here. The chart never lies, as some people say. But going back, you can see here, Ethereum, ETH-BTC is recovering quite well. This is its 4th consecutive week. So I'm really confident in terms of the future. And remember, guys, this double digit that you're seeing here, this is just a tease about the future. Now imagine, okay, imagine if we had a day, or if you had a time where PulseChain goes up 13% on a day for 100 consecutive days. Where would the price be? Well, I don't know the answer to that, so I'm actually interested if you guys can get the answer and comment down below. That would be pretty cool. But now we're going to move on towards even better news before we kind of go into the price predictions of the core 5. I'm just going to talk about the core 5 because I talked about PDAI and PWBTC in the previous video, so you can go check that out. I also wrote my first article about PWBTC, so you can check that out in the description below. But moving on to happy birthday for PulseChain. Yeah, yesterday was 13th of May, which is the official launch day for PulseChain. We are now officially 2 years. So, you know, it's a great milestone, really. 2024 was a year of gains. Oh my God, even though it was not technically altcoin season, we've had too many altcoin seasons. It was beautiful. But you can see here, Richard Hart reminds people about his vision, and I'm going to show you guys the clip here where obviously sacrifice funds. The sacrifice funds that we just spoke about, you can see that injection into PulseX, Hex, and INC. Some people even theorize that would he inject it towards EHEX? Okay, that's very interesting. I want to hear your thoughts on that as well. An exchange in the works. Okay, we did see a little bit of a tease, and I showed that clip in the previous video where he talked about, hey, if we're not going to be listed on exchanges that are out right now, there will be competitors. And it's quite clearly that maybe perhaps he is working on an exchange. It's very well known that he's working on a wallet as well. Hopefully that's going to be better experience than DBank and Rabi wallet. And you can see here PulseX. Imagine we see PulseX going cross-chain. And here, stablecoin from exchange I'm making. So this was something that I saw in his to-do list. This is a very, very old to-do list that he had way before Pulsechain even launched. And he was just talking about, he put some items here. It was a very old screenshot, by the way, from Telegram. And yeah, he had stablecoin from exchange I'm making. So what stablecoin is he talking about? And what exchange is he talking about? It's very, very interesting times. And remember, the best things about Pulsechain, we got no venture capitalists. There's no Ethereum foundation that dumps on people's heads. So yeah, majority of people watching this video probably don't even know that. Go check it out. Like, guys, Ethereum foundation constantly dumps on people's heads during the worst times as well. Even during when Ethereum prices were at local all-time lows. It's not a really great look. And for what? Right? They're using it to, I don't know, work on ETHOS, if that's even a thing anymore. I don't know. I hope it's not. And yeah, no fake paid influencers. You know what I mean? Like, we have around 80 to or even 100 content creators, and they're just passionately making videos about PulseChain, like, you know, including me. And I'm not getting paid to do this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm literally purely enjoying this because I really believe in this, guys. Okay, like, I don't need to, you know, if I really wanted the views, I could talk about obviously the hottest thing right now, which is what, Solana or whatever, you know, keep talking about Bitcoin, etc., be like a Bitcoin maximalist, right? But this is really where my heart is, because I know, because I really don't care about being right. I only care about making money. Okay, so my videos here is effectively my journey to that path to financial freedom. It's also a nice educational way to show you guys what my thought process is. I want to show you guys my tools that I'm using. Okay, so that you can become your own independent thinker. You can become a free thinker, make your own decisions, don't rely on others. So I really advocate for people to not only watch my content, watch other people's content as well. Big shout out to Coexistence Steven. Big shout out to Saint Wolf. Big shout out to, of course, our friend Sami, where we all have different perspectives of what reality is. Nobody actually knows what reality is. We literally are all just It's like as if, you know, we're all standing 100 feet away from a building. A building is, you know, we're trying to describe the details of this building, but nobody's actually at the building to describe how it actually looks like. You know what I mean? So we all have different perspectives. Maybe I'm standing 100 feet away, Sami is standing 50 feet away, St. Wolf is standing, I don't know, 60 feet away. You know, that's kind of the analogy that I have here, if you guys get it. But anyways, and here I said, and most importantly, you guys are the community is Pulsechain's greatest asset. Okay, strongest community in crypto. Remember, you can't spell culture without cults. So yeah, this is the clip that, you know, it's just a quick clip. And let's see what he has to say here.
We can do all this stuff on our own. Let me put it this way. Think about how much money I have and think about what I could do with that if I choose to. I have a lot of options available to me. So, like, I don't need any of these motherfuckers. I do not.
No.
And by the way, if you guys didn't know, the clip was effectively one person here asked him about, hey, is there any like big time influencers or, you know, even celebrities or whatever that are going to talk about Pulsechain? And that was his reply, as in, we don't need them. We don't need to get paid people to, you know, to talk about us. And moving on to the second tweet here, I just want to show you guys, you know, the latest tweet from Binance here, saying Binance is unofficially a cardiologist since 2017 and showing the pulse from Pulsechain. Okay, now this is the fourth tweet that they've kind of hinted a Pulsechain reference. Now, is this related to an actual listing? So you can see this is quite clearly a PulseX logo, and here turns out my pulse is pegged to Binance. This is quite clearly a PDAI reference, and of course Pulse, like that's Pulsechain. And then here at the same time, look at these this is the PulseX logo. It's quite interesting, you know, so it's either gonna happen or not. Okay, and at this point, like 4 times, guys, once maybe that's a coincidence, twice sure, 3 times okay, that's like, come on now, 4th time is like them confirming it. You know, so here I said, what if I told you that Binance will list Pulsechain in the next 60 days? And someone even commented and said, if next 30 is more realistic. Imagine, guys, that, I mean, that would be perfect timing, by the way, with how the sentiments, the general market sentiments are shifting towards, you know, a bull run, etc. This is perfect timing. Well, I'm so curious, what will be the first centralized exchange that will list Pulsechain? Would it be OKX? Because technically OKX, they used to list us, you know, back when we launched. So is it going to be them, or is it going to be Kraken? Is it going to be Coinbase? Is it going to be Binance? Hey man, the answer is just going to be all the above. All the above. So yeah, here's one of the latest tweets from Richard Hart, and he basically hinted at the sacrifice funds here. He goes, Ethereum, you might be missing one. And this is the strategic ETH reserve, kind of showing you know, companies and their treasuries that are holding Ethereum. And you can see that you got Ethereum Foundation, they're holding 265,000, Coinbase holding 137,000, right? But now remember, and I'll show you guys how much is the sacrifice funds holding. 171,000 Ethereum. Where would that put us? That would put us as number 2 largest Ethereum holder in the world currently. Wow. So that's gonna bring a lot of eyes. So this is what I said. Pulsechain is the most gate-kept chain on in crypto, because look, they're not even including us. Right? And here they're saying, yeah, we're still number 5 on Next Screener. The sacrifice fund reserves would put Richard Hart in the number 2 biggest holder of Ethereum, even bigger than Coinbase. What will he do with the reserves? Look into what he did in the last bull run. That was the same strategy, guys. This is why the same strategy, it's a proven concept with the OA, there's a proven concept with, you know, the reserves, because there was a pre-sale that happened with EHEX in 2019 before it launched. And of course, what did he do? He slowly injected that in at the perfect timing where he and he perfectly timed it actually, where Ethereum topped. So keep an eye. Like, if you want to think about when is the sacrifice of funds going to inject into the core ecosystem, just put your mind in the mind of Richard Hart and be like, okay, when would he think Ethereum would top? Now, my personal thing is very hard. Okay, I think we're going to have 2 waves. First wave is going to be around, you know, this year. Second wave could be around Q1, early of 2026. And I really do believe the second wave is going to be higher than the first one. So technically, Ethereum could top in the second wave. So we shall see, right? And I'm really excited because, you know, it's going to bring a lot of eyes, and a lot of people are trying to time this. Okay, and this reminds me of one of Richard Hart's quotes. It's not about trying to time the market. It's about the time in the market. So don't try to time, oh, I waited till I wanted to confirm the bottom. Oh, I tried to buy and now, now we're really going up and I missed out. Hey man, it's your fault. Okay, you're not a true believer. Literally, what separates the believers from the non-believers is what? The buy prices. Literally, it's the buy prices. And this kind of reminds me of yesterday's video where I talked about PDAI and stuff. And it's so crazy because I see a lot of people on Twitter like talking again about PDAI. And it's like, bro, hold on. It's actually so cringy right now because you changed up teams so many times. And all of a sudden people go like, oh, no. There's no exploit now. So now I'm back in PDAI. Bro, nah. Stick to your word, bro. You're either with PDAI, you're not. Okay? Don't try to play this like, oh, told you guys, oh, you're welcome, guys. I gave you the bottom price. It's actually very cringy. You know what I mean? Like, imagine, for example, people who are going to talk about Teddy, the other Teddy that B-Roots allegedly launched, right? And they talk about it, and then actually, guys, the OG teddy bear is pumping more. That one is much better. It's like, no, bro, you change teams. Okay, you're not to be trusted. Okay, and we have even worse people here where like they're literally calling, I'm not going to mention their names, but like, look, DeFi Triggs was quote tweeting them saying like, why did you call us, basically the F word? Why are they F words when you're holding PDAI? Like what? Bro? And then it reminds me of this picture. They'll pretend that they always understood PDAI. The same thing. They'll pretend they always understood Pulsechain. They'll pretend they always understood HEX. But their buy prices will say otherwise. So I made this quick tweet here, and we'll go into the price predictions, but I want to really remind people of this, okay? Reminder to everyone to be careful of who you choose to listen to, guys. Please be careful, okay? Those type of people who switch up, they're going to mess you up. Okay? Because I remember ages ago, people who missed out on the, thousands of X's from PDAI, or hundreds of X's if we just keep that scope within 2024, hundreds of X's. Almost 200, I think. People didn't buy PDAI straight up because they're content created that they watched, and perhaps that was their only funnel of news. They never talked about PDAI, or let's say they never exclaimed that they're holding it. They didn't show support to it, right? But then you go to their Twitter and they see, and I've had someone comment down actually on my YouTube a few months ago. And they said, oh, I just realized that he had a moon bag of PDAI and he made so much money off of it. And he didn't tell the rest of his community. And he goes, oh, every time I look at him, every time I, think about it, I get really pissed off because he didn't tell us while he was holding PDAI. You know what I mean? Like, and I felt really bad because I was like, everyone is actually, because, we're in a digital world. Technically, all the news should be at the palm of our hands, right? The market, what is it called? The market, efficient market hypothesis. I forgot the name of it. Right. So technically everyone should have the same information, right? And of course, there's information asymmetry, unfortunately. And he obviously, the guy who commented, he didn't have information asymmetry because he was just looking into one guy who was, again, being disingenuous. Why? I mean, at least be like, okay, I'm holding a bag of PDAI. I don't believe in it, but I'm holding it. So straight. All I'm going to say is stay true to yourselves and don't change who you are coming into these videos, okay? When you talk to other people. Because it does seem like, for example, with me, guys, okay? I believe in the Core 7, Pulse, PulseX, HEX, and INC, EHEX, PDAI, PWC. I believe in the four horsemen, right? The OG people would know. It was a Teddy Bear, Atropa, PDAI, PWC, the four. I've always believed in them, even when things went so bad for us. I've always believed in them. Okay, and I've told people this is my bet for this bull run. Like, it's already set. I'm not going to change my mind. I take profits along the way, because remember, DCA in, DCA out. You take profits when you feel like you're at euphoria phases, but I'm long-term. I'm long-term, guys. I'm an investor. I don't do these trades. I don't do trades. Okay, this is how you win big. Okay, if you care about winning first, fair enough, be a trader, be a scalper. That actually could work out for you if you have a formula, as long as the risk to reward ratio is higher than 1. Good for you. Keep at it, right? But I'm here. I'm with an investor mentality. Okay, I've witnessed it where just literally all you gotta do, the less trades, the better. I've witnessed it with PTGC giving me 1000x plus. I witnessed it with PDAI Atropa giving me 150x, guys, in 2024. Okay, so anyways, you just have to realize which type of trader you are, and please watch multiple people. Don't limit yourself to one person, including me. Don't limit yourself to me, because I'm not going to talk about every hot project in PulseChain. I can't. Okay, there's a few new projects that are coming up here and there. I don't really want to take the risk on them because I have given the people a lot of benefit of the doubt, and it has really ended up making me look bad with those products that I gave the benefit of the doubt. So I have to keep my videos effectively talk about the bigger narrative, and I do believe like technically PDAI is still high risk, right? And I still believe in Teddy Bear. I still believe in Atropa, but we shall see. I just have to vet more projects before I even talk about them really, and give better disclaimers. But that's for another topic. And anyways, here I just say. What differentiates the believers and non-believers is the buy prices. That's exactly what I said. When the red candles come, that's when people's true colors show. I'm just going to tell you this. So when green candles, everyone's going to seem like your friend. Oh, hey, you're so nice. Oh, yeah, you talk. Oh, thank you for talking about my project. But when the red candles come, bro, they're going to talk crap behind your back. So please be careful. Whoever you show support to, I'm not going to throw any names or whatever. Keep note of who they were. Okay, I'll say less. Y'all have a good ass day. And we're going to carry on with the video, which was, I think that was basically it. Like, technically, which Hart sacrifice funds puts us at number 2 largest Ethereum holder. Very, very bullish. Now, going to speaking about sacrifice funds, right? Right now worth 456 million. There's this website called pampy.app. And this is a really good website because it actually gives us a simulation of what would happen if Richard Hart would inject the funds into the core 4. Okay, there's no into the core 4 evenly. So yeah, the price of Ethereum is 2.6 and then 452 million. So if we click on calculate, it'll calculate what would the price be with that injection. Okay, so again, this is purely hypothetical, guys. Purely hypothetical. And look at this. 12,000 INC price, 10 cent Pulse price, 18 cent PulseX price, $80, Jesus, $80 hex price. Okay, now obviously this sounds way too good to be true, and I just want to give you guys a fun fact, by the way. When I started making videos about PDAI, it was 3,800x away from $1. So of course, when I was making those videos, I was like, who the hell would believe me? Because PDAI, by the way, at that time was not a trend to talk about. It was not even cool to talk about. Nobody really, it was very high risk. But I started making videos then, not because it was a trend to talk about, because I started believing in it. But I recognized that, oh yeah, talking about a potential 3,800x, nobody's going to believe me. But imagine when we went to 100x to $1, even as close as 30x to $1, that's when I had majority of people reaching out to me, telling me how to kind of get on the PDAI narrative, etc., etc. It's the craziest thing, guys. It really is the craziest thing. So, anyways, and it makes sense, right? Because majority of people, they don't have that high risk tolerance, so they would rather trade off some of the risk for some certainty. So yeah, keep that in mind. Anyways, looking at the prices here, I just want to say the difference, because I remember this simulation was much lower ages ago, and yes, it's probably to do with the fact that we're at lower prices, but no, I think it's to do with also what, if we go in pulsechain.com, go to stats, is to do with our PulseX liquidity. We used to have over half a billion in liquidity, so of course that would require way more money for us to move to those X prices that is showing it right here. So I remember, guys, if I remember, it was actually around, it would give us a quote of like, I don't know, $1,000 or $2,000. Pulse here would give us a quote of 1 cent. PulseX would give us, I think, 1.5 cents. EHEX, I forgot how much it was. Probably was around $12 or $10. So I'm telling you guys, because the fact that we have low liquidity, we're able to reach higher heights. This is really, really good. Now, in terms of, okay, am I going to now hold until I see this price? No. That's not how you play, because actually you're not gonna win if you have a specific price prediction in your head, right? You have to look at other factors that make up the odds of whatever you're holding is going to continue to go up, which is what, as long as we're not in the euphoric phase, you should carry on holding. And this is where you should make up your own system, where you have your if-else statements, or where you have metrics where if it reaches above certain thresholds, you start securing profits. What does that mean? Turning them from whatever altcoins that you're holding to stable coins. Okay. Anyways, I have made an extensive video on that in my members exclusive video. So big shout out to the YouTube members who are choosing to support me. But I'll still show you guys the charts, and I'll still show you guys, what is my strategy, which is what, taking profits along the way. And I do have milestones, which I'll show you guys, kind of like realistic, conservative, aspirational, and of course, like, this is full on, but this is glory at this point. It's glory. Okay, but to be fair with you guys, by the way, I really do think if we reached 10x above sacrifice rate, it's already us, like, being written down as a winner. Okay, to everyone else, like, you cannot speak otherwise, because everyone called Richard Hart a scammer. Everyone said, oh yeah, you're gonna get SEC after you, he's gonna go to jail. That didn't happen. He beat the SEC, and hopefully soon we'll see the Interpol being lifted off or whatever, dismissed. So I'm telling you guys, we're slowly gaining that. Richard Hart went from a hero in the previous bull run who made a 10,000x now to looking like a villain in the past years, literally looking like a villain. People calling him a scammer, and we're going to slowly see that. It's like that hero's journey, right? And now we're slowly seeing him become that hero again. We shall see. The truth will always win, and of course we will prevail. So now looking at this is the EHEX price. Okay, let's not start with EHEX. Let's start with INC. INC liquid gold, man. I'm gonna make a separate video about why I am so bullish on INC. You can see it is up 20%, very close to $1. I think to $2. I think we already hit $2 today. And yeah, this is effectively my milestones. Okay, number one is 100% reaching previous. Oh, sorry, not previous all-time high. Is kind of reaching $30, and I believe I did that from Fibonacci extensions. That would be great. So so I do believe like $30 will probably give us a little bit of resistance, and obviously previous local all-time high. So if we reach $10, that'll probably be resistance. So I guess these are my mini milestones: is $10 and $30. The next one would definitely be previous all-time high of around $80 something. And yeah, 100% triple digits, that would also be another milestone. So you guys can kind of understand here. And because of the fact that I got into INC because of its future value proposition, not because of its today's value. Okay, I started buying in, at $1.5. I think that was mainly because I missed it out here. I was actually focusing on teddy bear Atropa PDAI around this time right here, which I should have actually got a bag of INC. But you know what? The next best thing is what? Waiting for that correction. Because I tell people, why would I have to buy the green candles? Never buy the green candles, guys. Even if it's a bullish project, if it's expensive and if it's pumping hard, that it is what it is. Wait for the correction. Wait for the correction. And if you think there's no correction, that's it. Then you move on to another project. There's other opportunities out there. For example, EHEX. Well, I still think like all the core ecosystem guys. I mean, if you wanna talk about how late you are, here, let's put them at all-time low. Look at this. Pulse from all-time low is only up 72%. So are you really late? No. PulseX is up 3.29%. Are you really late? Still no. Imagine being late to 1000x by 3.2x. Okay, and I was gonna say the fact that this is way higher than Pulse is literally because of the buy and burn. Okay, literally because of the buy and burn. If we look at Go Pulse here, and you can see how much it burnt 7.12%. Wow, hold on, that used to be 7%. It's crazy how rapidly it's increasing. So yeah, 7% of the supply has been burnt. I'm gonna make a separate video about this. PulseX is huge, guys. It's a better Uniswap. I'm so excited about PulseX, honestly. But yeah, so these are my milestones for INC. I'm really, really bullish. $320 again, just for using Fibonacci extensions from all-time low to from all-time high. And of course, like if it reached $300 at that point, it would just be a 3x to reach $1,000. So I'd say that's also a milestone, really. So just remember, like, keep an eye on. It's almost actually, even though I have these price milestones, right? What really matters is actually just the macro conditions. Okay, are we in euphoric mode? Okay, so really make up those if statements. For example, okay, and I'll give you one of them. And I really hope you give this video a like, because I'm sharing this with you guys. And an example of a euphoric state would be if the Bitcoin dominance is at, let's say, let's just say, 45, let's say, plus or minus a few error percentage. If it's at 45 or less, if we are, in that, above that threshold of, or less than that threshold, I guess, 45 or less percentage, we are in euphoric state. Therefore, start taking profits per week. Okay. Another one could be the other's total crypto market. If we are, at 1 trillion, like that's top signal. Okay, this is top signal for me, by the way. This next best one could be, okay, did we break all-time high with previous bull run tops? So anything above that could be, by the way, if we broke higher than this line, by the way, that could just indicate the beginning of the altcoin, or the beginning of the altcoin prime time season, not to the top of it. But it's still good to have that, right? So from here to there is just a 1x. So from $500 million to $1 trillion is just a 1x, really. I don't really think we're going to reach 1.5 trillion. I think, 1.25 is going to be probably the absolutely aspirational. So that could be the range. Okay, if we're anywhere between that, I'm taking profits per week, no matter what the price is. Okay, so keep that in mind. Like, you have to have a probabilistic approach, because yes, we're all going to dream about a $1,000 INC. Is it really going to happen? Be real with yourself, and I think obviously if Richard Hart is going to reward all of us, and of course, do you really think all of us will be left towards, I don't know, towards the second altcoin season wave? I'm not 100% sure, guys. A lot of people are probably going to cash out in the first altcoin season wave, and they're going to miss out on the even higher second altcoin season wave, right? And it's going to It's going to force those people to buy back again, but at more expensive prices. So keep that in mind. It is really mind games, guys. Yes, crypto is, all you got to do is press a few buttons, but it's not an easy road. It does get simpler if you absolutely do nothing. The less that you do, the more you'll get. Not financial advice, of course. Not financial advice. But moving on to the next one here. EHEX. I'm very, very bullish on EHEX. Could this be the greatest CTO story? Now, of course, is EHEX dead? Technically, Richard Hart labeled it as dead, but we clearly found out that it's not dead, because the OA of EHEX literally staked 95% of the supply for 5555 days, so 15 years. So it is not dead. Okay. Now, obviously, is OA Richard Hart? No. Some people say it is. It could be an AI bot at the end of the day. Who knows? It could be a team. It could be Gary Gans. I'm joking. It's not. Obviously, that's a joke. Anyways, and you can see here that it's recovering. We are now 175x away from all-time high, and I think history can repeat itself. Okay, that is my hopeful milestone, is reaching that all-time high. Again, it could be plus or minus. It could be plus or minus. I guess 25. Yeah, 25 cents would definitely be kind of a psychological number as well. And just in general, I feel like the first milestone would be so sick if we broke green on the super trend. So for us to reach that, we have to reach 2.4 cents, and literally at that point it's just another 10x to 25 cents. It's so crazy. And then if from 25 cents it's just a 2x to 50. You understand what I'm saying? Like, yes, 100x sounds really, really big, but 100x is just what was it? It's 10x. It's basically a 10x and then another 10x. That's it. If it 10x twice, is 100x. You see what I mean? Like, now that I've broken it down, it's much simpler. So of course, nothing will ever like go up 100x at one point, but slowly it can reach them much quicker. Okay, because 10 times 10 is 100. I even gave that example in my previous video with PWC, how it went up like 20x in like, or 19x in like 25 days. Guys, that's almost 1x per day. Wow, wow, wow. I'm telling you guys. So it is really exciting stuff. And then now moving on to PHEX. This is the newer chart, right? This is the one native to Pulsechain, because technically it's a PRC20. It's looking really good. Price discovery, hopefully if we break that 3 cents mark again, God knows where it will be at that point. But yeah, I think more or less the same thing. I would say my price, milestone would probably be 25 cents, 50 cents. $1 would be huge. Right now we are 105x away from $1. At some point we were at 32x away from $1, guys. Wow. I'm telling you guys, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. And by the way, a realized 1000x from all-time low would be a price of $3.5. I was just telling you. And yeah, you can see here I'm doing the volume profiles, which kind of shows that the point of control would take us somewhere here, where if the price reaches that point of control, and even actually if we limit it to just what's here, you can see the point of control will readjust. Is it readjusting? Yeah, it's readjusting. It's still here. It would still, if you reach this point of control, which is a price of 1.3 cents, if it's bullish, right? If we're breaking out, if we're not experiencing this part as a resistance, it's gonna effectively tell us that although the general market trend for PHEX is now bullish, like that's really good. So this is a kind of a decider moment for PHEX. Are we gonna see another retest, or are we now gonna break out and into higher highs? And hopefully it is the latter. And you can see right now, actually, PHEX is #1 trending on Pulsechain. So I'm really excited for the future. You got PulseX here, up 16.5%. Wow, guys. This is probably due to the liquidity is really light, and that's a very smart decision from Richard Hart. And you can see that we've, because I drew this bull flag, and unfortunately we broke out, obviously here, due to external factors, due to just in general stuff, a lot of things happened. We were hit with the worst news. Ethereum was not performing, etc. But now it seems like we're back into it. Now, are we going to see a breakout very soon? I don't know. I'm not going to apply any TA on this. I'm not even going to attempt to. I just need to let the chart do its thing. It does seem like we are, in that accumulation phase, right? We were hit with a distribution phase. Now we're hitting with the accumulation phase. We shall see where we go. And obviously, milestone will be reaching sacrifice rate, and anything after that will probably be price discovery. So God knows where will that next support level will be. I'm so excited for the future. But in terms of conservative price predictions, guys, in my opinion, I think obviously sacrifice rate will be a first milestone. The second one will be 1/10 of a cent. Okay, I think that one will be also a very important milestone to reach. So if I put 001, and how many X's are we away from there? Let us find out. If I put that today's price, put it at the sacrifice rate, you can see here, 10x after sacrifice rate, it's at 29x. Okay, so from here it's just a 29x, and I think, by the way, this is very I think this is realistic and kind of conservative. And yes, a lot of people, you might call me, hey, why are you being bearish about the price? I'm just going to say, by the way, if we reached 1/10 of a cent, we're just a 10x to 1 cent at that point. It's just one more 10x. So the difference between me, reaching 1/10 of a cent to 1 cent is literally, it could happen, by the way, like in a week, right? So keep that in mind. I just like to provide a conservative, realistic, conservative, aspirational, basically 1/10 of a cent, half a cent, 1 cent. And obviously the first milestone is just reaching sacrifice rate. That'll be really great. We will probably be hit with some resistance here, perhaps. We'll shake some people out, and that's really great, because those people, they don't deserve it to make it for the long run, right? We really make big gains. So these are my price predictions. I'm staying true to myself. And yes, I'm keeping this in mind, the whole sacrifice funds, you know, us being a literal leverage of Ethereum, because obviously Richard Hart is holding that. And yes, if the price of Ethereum goes to, let's say, $7,000, it would make the sacrifice funds worth 1 billion. So imagine injecting 1 billion into PulseChain. You know, those numbers are probably going to be absolutely crazy in terms of price predictions. So this is why, by the way, I'm keeping my game simple by also choosing to hold some of those like tokens for bull runs to come till the next bull run. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I genuinely feel like, guys, Pulsechain is going to be here to stay in the next bull run. Do you know what's going to be the third cycle curse? Solana. I'm telling you, like, keep that in mind. Pulsechain is here to stay. We're made in the USA. And why I do that is because majority of the validators are in the US. So technically we're made in the USA. We represent freedom of speech, freedom of movement. I'm telling you guys, we're not just another layer one fork solution of Ethereum. Like, okay, we actually represent true decentralization for a lot of reasons. Yes, even including PDAI. Yes, I understand some of you guys don't like it when I talk about PDAI. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You're watching my video. I'm talking about what I believe in. Okay? It's freedom of speech, bro. We are in Pulsechain, the chain that talks about freedom of speech. Are you mad? I'm joking. But anyways, we move on now to the last but not least, Wrapped Pulse. This is the native coin of the chain. Now, personally for me, I don't hold that much Pulse because I just choose to double down on PulseX because I just believe that PulseX is a leverage of Pulse. Pulse is a leverage of Ethereum. Ethereum is a leverage of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a leverage of S&P 500. S&P 500 is a leverage of, I don't know, inflation. You know what I mean? Or gold, I guess. And gold is gold has been doing bad. When I say gold has been doing bad, I'm talking about if you actually put in if you put into account inflation, gold is not that performative, by the way. So keep that in mind. Go check it out. Even Richard Hart actually spoke about this in a live stream with Peter Schiff. I think that's how you pronounce his name, Peter Schiff. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, you can see here, Wrapped Pulse. And guys, I'm gonna keep it very simple. I think it's just gonna be exactly the same prices, exact same price milestone as PulseX. 1/10 of a cent. You guys can see it right now. We're 23x away, and half a cent, which is right now 123x away, and of course 1 cent, which is a 246x away. That's obviously aspirational, but we shall see, guys. That is my milestone, the 10th of a cent. That's my first milestone. This is where I'm going to be like, okay, are we in euphoric state? If we're not, I'm going to continue holding. I'm going to continue holding. That means we have not reached enough gains. We're not in euphoric state. Okay, so you have to have these factors. Write them down, guys. Write them down so you can really act on it and not act on emotions, because people have fear of missing out. And the two types of fears, the fears of obviously trying to buy in even though it's a green candle, and the fear of, oh, what if this is the top, but it's not really the top, so you took profits way too soon. Now, of course, crypto is a solo sport. You can do whatever you want, but I'm just telling you, being a trader literally takes away 70% of your potential gains. Just because you're being a trader, you're doing way too many trades than you need to do. So this is why if you reduce the number of your trades, you're just an investor. You're actually making sure that you're making 100% of the potential gains. Look it up. There's a study on it. I'll mention in the next video because I keep talking about it. Yeah, guys, listen. That basically takes us to the end of this video. I'm going to keep it short and sweet, even though it's not short and sweet. It is 44 minutes. Oh my god, time has flew by. I hope you guys really enjoyed it, and yeah, you know, hopefully we start seeing this number surpassing Bitcoin. We really need to start to recover against Ethereum, recover against Bitcoin. That'll be a really good look. And yeah, right now PDAI is a 589x away from $1. PWBC is a 273x away from Bitcoin parity. So pretty cool stuff. Looking forward for the future. I'm so excited, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Be sure to check out my Telegram. Join it. Link in the description. I will make it private at this point. I'm really happy with the people that are there. They're providing good value to the conversation. I'm helping out people who have any questions. I love how it is. So, you know, you'll have your final chance. I will make the channel private. And be also sure to check out my course, link in the description, learning about crypto, the security guide, learning about operational security. Please be careful about the different types of attack vectors within crypto. You know, from Telegram to fake dApps to signature requests, offline attacks to malicious Solidity contracts. And I'll even teach you how you can encrypt your files on your laptop, on your machine, on your PC, on your USB with secure encryption, latest industry standard AES 256-bit. Please be careful. Learn, keep learning, and really understand the landscape that you're entering yourself into, especially if you're holding above $1,000 and you're planning to take crypto seriously. Okay, so this is just a great reminder that complacency is a big risk. So continue learning, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will catch you soon, and take care. Bye-bye.